In this video, we will walk through how to create an engineering master for a sample fabricated part. To follow along, please download and print the file bracket revision A. A link to the drawing is included in the tutorial video description. Reviewing the sample part. From the print, you will notice this part is made from 18-gauge cold-rolled steel. The manufacturing sequence for this sample part will include laser cutting, press brake forming, powder coating in black. Adding the first process, laser cutting. Begin by left-clicking Add First Process. The window will scroll to the bottom of your display, allowing you to enter the details for the first process. Machine selection. Under Machine, locate and select Laser from the drop-down menu. After selecting the machine, the form will automatically simplify to show only the inputs that apply to laser cutting. Setup quantity, optional. Next, decide whether you want to include a setup quantity for this operation. Entering a setup quantity adds labor cost only to this machine based on the number of setup pieces you enter. Since this is a simple part, we will not enter a setup quantity for this example. Operator alerts. The drop-down alert operator at clock in/out allows you to display a message to the operator when they clock in or out of the job. If this is set to yes, the text you enter will appear on screen and must be acknowledged before the operator can proceed. This is helpful when recurring manufacturing issues need to be reinforced. For this example, we will leave this set to no. Chat Task Notify. Under Chat Task Notify, you may choose a user to receive a real-time notification when the operator clocks in. For example, if a part is difficult to set up and requires assistance from quality, selecting Quality Manager will notify them when work begins. For this example, we will leave Chat Task Notify set to none. Process description. Below Chat Task Notify is the description field, used for placing notes visible on the work order. This is typically left empty unless special instructions are required. For this tutorial, we will enter laser cut part from 18-gauge steel. Click Save to add the laser process. You will now see the laser operation added to the engineering master. Adding a material requirement to the laser process. In order to laser cut this part, we must add a requirement for 18-gauge sheet steel. Click Add REQ inside the laser process. The window scrolls to the bottom and a new purchase requirement form appears. Quantity needed, using the sheet calculator. Under the machine column, you will see fields for quantity needed, price, and setup quantity. Because this is a sheet metal part, FloorVisio includes a sheet calculator, saw calculator, powder paint calculator, and wet paint calculator. To calculate the sheet quantity, left-click Sheet Calculator. Using the printed bracket Rev A drawing. Enter 4.44 part width, short side. Enter 13.74 part length, long side. The material sheet size is 48 width, 120 length. Enter these values. You may also enter optional values such as part border, top sheet edge, sides and bottom. These adjust the effective nesting area based on your shop's layout preferences. Click Calculate. The calculator returns effective sheet area. Summary of part dimensions. 72 parts per 48 by 120 sheet. 0.0139 sheets required per part. Click Use this value to populate quantity needed. Price. Enter the price of a full sheet of 48 by 120 18-gauge steel. For this example, we will enter $105. Setup quantity for purchased materials, optional. Setup quantity for purchased materials amortizes the cost of extra material across the job. Example. If material costs $10 each, the quote is for 5 pieces, and setup quantity is 1. $10 divided by 5 equals $2 added per part. Setup quantity adds no margin, it is applied after margin is calculated. In this example, we will not use setup quantity. Material margin step, optional. If entered, this overrides the quote's global material margin. Most of the time, this field is left blank. Vendor. Select the vendor from the drop-down. If the vendor is not listed, click Edit to add one. Note, adding a vendor returns you to this page but clears your unsaved entries. We will leave this blank in this example. PPN number. PPN stands for Purchase Part Number, a FloorVisio identifier for commonly used items such as fasteners, bulk paint, sheet metal, other raw materials. A separate video covers PPNs in detail. Lead time. Enter the lead time in days. This tells FloorVisio when to begin work based on material arrival. For this example, we will enter 7 days. Wait for receipt before printing work order. Choose whether a work order can print before material is received. For low-dollar items, nuts, bolts, do not wait. For essential raw materials, wait. For sheet steel, we recommend wait. When is the material ordered? This impacts lead time calculations. Usually, before starting work. Sometimes, for example outside services, you will select after starting work. Bypass quality check. This section only applies to sending or receiving parts from an outside service supplier, OSS. If bypass quality is set to yes when sending to OSS, the part will be sent out without requiring a quality check beforehand. If bypass quality is set to yes when receiving from OSS, the part will be received back into the system without requiring a quality check after it returns from the OSS. System default behavior. FloorVisio automatically sets bypass quality to yes for all receive back from OSS transactions. This is because most workflows include an additional quality inspection before the part ships to the customer. If needed, this default behavior can be changed in the system settings. Operator alerts and chat task notify. These function the same as earlier. We will leave them blank/unset. Description and purchasing notes. In the description field, enter 48 by 1 2018 gauge steel. Purchasing notes appear only to purchasing personnel when ordering. This is commonly used for URLs or special ordering instructions. We will leave it blank. Click Save. You will now see the purchase requirement beside the laser process. These two items occupy row 1, as indicated by the horizontal line beneath them. Adding the second process, press Break. To add the next process, click the plus icon inside the laser process row. The screen scrolls to the bottom. Select Press Break from the machine drop-down. Setup quantity, operator alerts, and chat task notify are identical to earlier instructions. In the description field, we will enter bend 2 bends on the part per print. Click Save. Press Break now appears on the left side of row 2. Because this is a labor-only process, no material requirement is added. Adding the third process, powder paint. Click the plus icon inside the Press Break process row. Select powder paint from the machine drop-down. Enter this description. Powder coat using Super Mirror Black. Click Save. Powder paint now appears on row 3, and it requires a purchase requirement. Adding powder paint material requirement. Inside the powder paint process, click Add REQ. Using the powder paint calculator. Click Powder Paint Calculator. Enter 4.4 part width, 13.7 part length. Type 1 or 2 for single or whether both sides are to be coated. Enter powder coverage value. Click Calculate. The calculator returns 120.56 SQ in total area, 29 parts per pound, 0.033489 pounds of powder needed per part. Click Use this value to populate quantity needed. Price. Enter the cost per pound of Super Mirror Black powder. We will use $8.50. Setup quantity, margin step, vendor selection, PPN number, and purchasing notes function the same as earlier. We will leave setup quantity, margin step, vendor, and notes blank. Enter a 7-day lead time. Description. Enter. Super mirror black powder. Click Save. Reviewing the completed engineering master. Scroll through the engineering master to review the structure. Row 1. Left side, laser process. Right side, 18-gauge steel purchase requirement. Row 2. Left side, press brake process. Right side, no material requirement. Row 3. Left side, powder paint process. Right side, super mirror black powder requirement. This concludes the complete process sequence for building the sample fabricated part. Using engineering master templates. FloorVisio allows you to create engineering master templates for frequently used process flows. Once a template is created, clicking a single button will insert all processes into a new engineering master. For example, a template matching the laser press brake powder paint workflow shown here could be inserted instantly. All you would need to update is material quantities, process descriptions, if needed, labor or quote values. Conclusion. This concludes the demonstration of building an engineering master. After completing this process several times, you will find it becomes quick and efficient. Engineering masters help ensure consistency, accuracy, and repeatability for all manufactured parts.